So, yeah, it's recording.
Okay. All right.
It's gonna go back on like every 5 minutes.
Okay. So go ahead, ask your question. My name's Brianna.
Yes, and I'm Kari.
Hello, hello. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Alright,
All right. Semester's going fine.
Yeah,
so far.
for the most part. We just got our interims.
Yeah.
Middle.
So you're like, oh no, like, what to do?
Yeah, we're kind of. I'm hoping some of my grades will not be so low. Anyway.
Hard work, you know.
All right.
Shall we start?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to introduce myself at all, or
Sure.
Couple
it's because I know you guys are recording this and probably putting it on the internet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My name is Daniel Fishel, and I'm an illustrator based out of the lovely Queens, New York. Been an illustrator since 2008. Started working while I was in undergrad in college, silkscreening posters for bands and various record covers and T-shirts and things like that. And while in graduate school, I started working on doing magazines and newspapers and. Yeah, a couple of years later, here I am, just doing it all on my own. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
Can we start the questions?
yes, please.
What forms of art do you do?
What I do specifically is described as figurative illustration, specifically like between narrative and conceptual. Some illustrators prefer to be either narrative or conceptual, but then there's those weirdos like me that kind of walk that line where you're like, it's kind of narrative, it's kind of conceptual, you can't really peg it, so that's really what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which ones do you enjoy the most?
I mean, I like drawing the human figure a lot, but lately I've been trying to figure out how to just draw objects that kind of have meaning and symbolism in themselves so that they are their own thing.
So, what inspired you to become an artist?
Oh, so what happened was I was in high school and my mom told me that I can't play in punk bands all my life. So she was like, you need to go to college, do something. And originally I wanted to be a psychology major. And, but I realized that I would probably not be working on my own and doing my own thing as a psychologist until I was about 30. And I'm like, oh, being 30 is old. So I was like, I'm just going to, look at what interests me and what I do and what I like to enjoy and what I like to do with my life. And what I decided was that I was really into doing art. I did all my band's album covers and T-shirts and everything like that. So I eventually kind of looked into art school. So I applied to 4 different art schools, and my first choice, Maryland Institute College of Art, rejected me. I was like, oh no, like what am I gonna do? So I applied to 2 other schools. I got into the Museum of Fine Art up in Boston, which is this really weird experimental fine art school, and I applied to San Francisco Art Institute. I'm from Pennsylvania, so I was like thinking, where can I go that's away from my parents as far as possible? And both of those schools were very expensive, and so I chose my 4th choice school, which was probably the best decision ever, which was less than some of the other schools, and it was the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. Now, what made me choose my major specifically, originally I wanted to go and be a painting and drawing major, but I went up to the department, and all I saw was like abstract paintings, and at the time I didn't really understand what abstract painting was or what it meant or the meaning. So like any other 18-year-old, I was like, what is this crap? Like, what am I looking at? Do they really need to pay that much money to go to art school to be able to paint like big swatches of color on a thing? But then the other extreme was I saw photorealistic like pencil drawings of people like holding alcohol and parties and things like that.